day 7 already of 2018. On behalf of everyone on NewsLine, I wish you a happy and glorious new year. I am Becky Madujemu. Today, as we bask in the euphoria of the Yuletide and New Year celebration, we bring you a special report on the food habit of people during the season and medical advice for the future. Meanwhile, as people were enjoying the season with their loved ones the world over, Precious Wafo, an 11-year-old girl, was denied such joy. NewsLine will intimate to you on what happened to her. Also tonight, celebration galore from across the country. All this and much more after the news by Ogwa Vivian Oyedibia. Once again, Happy New Year.
A Happy New Year to you, Becky. Thank you for joining Abuja. The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai, has warned troops in the northeast to shun any form of extortion or trade and be alert at their areas of responsibility. The Army boss gave the warning while in Borno State in continuation of his operational visit. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa has details.
The Army's leadership tour to units and formations in the northeast is aimed at appraising and strategizing the ongoing counter-insurgency operation in the zone. At the 8th Division in Mungunu, Northern Borno, an area the Chief of Army Staff says is known for high rate of inter-border crime.
Issues of indiscipline
Charged troops to be disciplined and noted that
also be checked.
Efforts are on to improve their mode of operation and working environment.
Of utmost concern to President Muhammadu Buhari, he has at every occasion pledged his willingness to support and improve our welfare.
He informed the troops that the newly created 8th Division will soon relocate to Sokoto State, where it will be operationalized. The Chief of Army Staff was emphatic while addressing these troops to stay away from trading fish, cattle, and any form of extortion, as anyone caught will be decisively dealt with. Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai was also at one of the IDP camps in Mungunu, where he presented food items. There are 20,000 IDPs here. These 700 are among the 2,700 people recently rescued by the military. 2 women that delivered while in captivity in Northern Borno received cash gifts from the Chief of Army Staff. From Mungunu in Borno State, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
Vice President Yemi Osinbajo says the only way Nigerians could honor her fallen heroes is to ensure that the unity of the country is upheld. The Vice President said this at an interdenominational church service organized as part of activities marking the 2018 Armed Forces Remembrance Day celebration in Abuja. State House correspondent Jide Onifade has details.
Vice President Yemi Osinbajo notes that the officers and men of the armed forces on daily basis contribute towards the return of peace to troubled spots in the country. He says the federal government would do everything possible to defend the peace and unity of the country.
Our nation today stands as one to honor those who have paid and continue to pay the price night and day for our safety and for the safety of our land. And we pledge that the labors of these heroes past and present shall not be in vain.
The theme of the 2018 Remembrance Day, organized by the Ministry of Defense, is appreciating the contributions of armed forces in ensuring peace and security.
Armed forces remains the one institution of hope of Nigerians.
From the International Christian Center in Abuja, Jide Onifade, NTA News.
Talking politics now, National Chairman of the All Progressives Congress, APC Chief John Odige Oyegun, says the party is fully prepared to hold its congresses and convention from now till June this year. He reaffirmed this while playing host to the media at his residence in Abuja. Saliu Abdullahi reports.
This interface between journalists and APC National Chairman John Odige Onyegu is to further demonstrate the party's plan to actively embrace the year 2018 as a gateway to next year's general elections. The national chairman stated the party's plan to uphold the principle of open-door politics to give everyone the opportunity during its congresses and convention, expressing hope that the party will be carried along in reviewing the list of the recent federal government's board appointments that is generating comments from the people.
This month we are going to kickstart with the caucus and the NEC. And the NEC is the body authorized to approve a program leading up to the convention. The only thing I want to add is that it is pretty obvious that the party was not involved in the final stages of the compilation of that list.
Onyegu says, ever than before, APC is stronger to go into future elections in view of the people's oriented programs and policies being entrenched by the Buhari administration, which has positively affected humanity.
Nigeria is already a respected member of the international community, so we are getting access to serious aid, serious sympathy, serious funding of our major projects.
He added that measures have been mapped out to build a new foundation for more developmental projects and want Nigerians to keep faith with the APC. In Abuja, Salihu Abdullahi, NTA News.
The New Progressive Movement, one of the newly registered political parties, says it has commenced the process of merger with 6 other political parties towards ensuring a credible, stronger and viable opposition. The national chairman of the party, Mustafa Balagetso, disclosed this at the inaugural National Executive Committee meeting of the party held in Abuja. Timothy Yusuf reports.
Members of the newly registered political party consist of youth said to have been drawn from about 90 youth associations from across the country, built on ideological learning of selfless party that is not founded upon class. The national chairman warns against politics of rancor, divisiveness and bitterness, but demanded for politics of brotherliness and oneness.
We are not here to fight anybody. If you can condemn the success or progress of another person, how sure are you that you will even do better than him? What an opposition party is to do is to call the attention of the existing leadership and guide them on what is right and what is wrong.
The party lauded the present administration's fight against corruption, saying that the campaign should be stepped up.
Corruption is not at the top level alone. Corruption is even at the filling station. Corruption is at even the rice seller. Corruption is even at the orange seller. So we need to stand and fight against corruption. We should do it all together.
While promising to strictly harness the boundless gains in agriculture as a hub to rapid economic growth, speakers unanimously agreed that money politics will be brought to zero level by the new progressive movement. In Abuja, Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
And to Nasarawa State, where the state government says it will sustain positive engagement with the agencies of the federal government towards addressing power sector infrastructure needs to promote economic development and well-being of the people. Joshua Ojito reports that this is coming on the heels of hosting the 23rd monthly power sector meeting to be chaired by the Minister of Power Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, in Lafia.
With milestones achieved by the government of Nasarawa State on road and rural development, what is in high demand is fixing the power sector to accelerate agricultural and industrial growth. A new twin transformer substation has just been completed and is expected to add great value to electricity supply in Lafia. As part of the engagement by the minister is to inaugurate this substation constructed under the National Integrated Power Project Program. But Nasarawa State is probably the only state in Nigeria not connected on the highest 330 kV grid network. The federal government has responded positively with ongoing work by the power sector agencies to step down the Ikot-Ekpene-Enugu-Makurdi to Jos transmission line in Lafia.
By the time these things are in place, I can assure you Nassau State will be a completely different place.
With the presence of top echelon of power sector players, the National State government is expected to draw their attention on its expectations going forward. In Lafia, Joshua Ojito, NTA News.
And away from that, 2018 will remain indelible in the minds of the congregation of the Daughters of Divine Love, Eluama Isikwato in Abia State, as they took delivery of the keys to a 16-room edifice built by the Emmanuel Mbaka Foundation. Abdullahi Suleiman Yaji reports.
The idea to establish the ultra-modern building equipped with the state-of-the-art facilities was born out of an inspiration to touch lives.
To be very honest with you, I think I was inspired. It was inspirational. There was no motivation as to why I wanted, but I was inspired to do this.
The new Daughters of Divine Love Convent, a first of its kind, was commissioned by Most Reverend Solomon Amatu, who described the gesture as timely and a move targeted at enhancing working conditions. The Thanksgiving church service held at St. Anne's Catholic Church, Eluama, had in attendance the clergy, friends and well-wishers of the donor. At a grand reception, government officials, the traditional institution and beneficiaries thanked Sir Emmanuel Mbaka for his magnanimity and prayed God to grant him more prosperity in his selfless service to humanity.
Mbaka has also embarked on building last estates in Abia State. Even when the demand for these buildings might not be as what is important as we like our government is in Abuja.
Knowing that this was coming from a God-fearing man who believed in faith, that provided God spoke to him about this, and he accepted that God was going to get the means to give him the means to achieve this.
They also urged other well-meaning individuals and groups to emulate the worthy example of the Emmanuel Mbaka Foundation. Abdullahi Suleiman Yaji, NTA News.
The 6th Division Nigerian Army Port Harcourt, in collaboration with 82 Division Enugu and the DSS, have confirmed the killing of kidnapped leader and ritualist Don Wani. He was killed in a hideout in Enugu where he was planning yet another attack on Omok. His remains and those of his second-in-command, Ikechukwu Adiele, who led the January 1st attack in Aligu that claimed 17 lives, were paraded before newsmen. Well, we'd like to warn that pictures on our next report may not be pleasant to some viewers, so viewers' discretion is advised. Onenge Fineface reports.
After years of criminality in Ogba Igbema Ndoni local government area of Rivers State, Igwe Dibia Johnson, popularly called Don Wani, accepted the Rivers State government amnesty. Rather than turn a new leaf, the kingpin continued to unleash terror on the people in the area, resulting in the raid of his Aligu residence, where assorted arms were recovered alongside human skulls and corpses buried in shallow graves. Sadly, on the 1st of January 2018, armed men from Don Wani's criminal gang struck again, this time killing over 17 persons in Aligu and Krigene, near Omoko, and allegedly leading an attack on Egbeda days later. The last of Don Wani's criminality, however, came to be after the Nigerian Army 6 and 82 divisions in a joint operation traced the kingpin to Enugu, where he met his Waterloo. Don Wani was shot dead while trying to escape the raid on his hideout in Enugu State.
There was a presidential directive by Mr. President that the heartless killers, the perpetrators of that mayhem, must be hunted down and brought to book. And we will not rest until we get all of them and bring them to book.
I won't call the young men to desist from joining violent gangs of criminals, because at the end of the day, the law will catch up with you.
The remains of Don Wani, his second-in-command, Ikechukwu Adiele, and another ally, Lucky Ole, have been handed over to the Nigerian police. In Port Harcourt, Onengiye Fine Face, NTA News.
And talking sports now, Chan Super Eagles to leave Nigeria for Morocco on Monday as Nick Kyrgios wins Brisbane International ahead of the season's first Grand Slam. Amanzi Marcus has the sports update.
This time, the weaknesses we have seen in Kano in the Super Series, we try to rectify it here with the drills and the exercises, and I think they have done very well so far.
Let's take a quick look now at weather prospects for tomorrow.
Hello, welcome to the weather segment. For Monday outlook, we expect dust haze over the northern part of the country with horizontal visibility range of 2 to 5 kilometers. A clearer visibility is expected over the central states. Moving to the inland cities, influx of more moisture is expected, which could lead to more cloud formation, especially over the southwestern part of the country. Hence, slim chances of rain showers over Ibadan, Lagos is expected in the morning hours, while the rest of the southern cities should expect partly cloudy to sunny conditions. I'll leave you with the temperature details. Thank you for watching.
And it's time for a break now. Newsline with Becky in Lagos will continue after. Good evening.
Chief Mike, how are you? Fine. I'm going to Sun office for the certification of my wheat flour.
Oh no, things have changed. Sun has simplified all its activities. You could have even stayed back in Kano and process all your papers online. Whoa.
With the efforts of Sun, the products of SMEs can now compete globally. Sun has put in place necessary machineries in support of the growth of SMEs. At highly subsidized charges, SMEs can now get their certification, laboratory testing of their products, as well as purchase of standards. Meanwhile, Sun is carrying out massive seizure of substandard goods in the market and have gotten legal backing to prosecute offenders, all to protect consumers and SMEs. Sun, improving life through standards.
Rise up this morning, smile with the rising sun. 3 little birds pitch by my doorstep, singing sweet songs, our melodies pure and true, saying, this is my message to you. Singing, don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Singing, don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright.
There's no limit to what you can do with data with Nigeria's widest data network. It's amazing what you can make happen on MTN.
This is my message to you.
We want to buy Indomie noodles. 4 packs, please.
Yo.
This is not my Indomie. Please, sir, it's not Indomie. Don't call it Indomie. Sir, the taste is the difference. The difference is in the taste. That's why my brothers, my mommy, my daddy, and I all enjoy our delicious, so very delicious Indomie noodles.
Season's greatest from Indomie. Indomie. Tasty nutrition, good for you.
Thanks for staying on the line. The Yuletide season, no doubt, is one that I'm sure you and I look forward to, especially because it affords us the opportunity to reunite with our loved ones. The season is also characterized by lots of eating and drinking. Some people, out of joy, gobble out of proportion. This is what Annie Daniels is concerned about in this report, the gluttonous habit of people during festivals and its implications. We'll bring you that report shortly, okay? Now, 11-year-old Precious Uwafo was during the week rescued from detention after being locked up in an apartment for over a week by the aunt who went on a trip to the southeast for the Yuletide break, thanks to the Lagos State Police Command and the Lagos State government who came to her rescue. Doyin Dia is our guide on Newsline.
State Police Command received call from a kind-hearted citizen who reported the situation at number 12 Badering Street, Mafuluko, Oshodi. A combined team from the Child Protection Unit of the Lagos State Ministry of Youth and Social Development and the Commissioner of Police besieged the location. 11-year-old Precious Nwafo was still in detention.
How long have you been here? Are you happy with your situation like this?
Yes. After interrogation with the girl, the State Commissioner of Police, Imoimi Edgar, ordered the immediate opening of the door. Precious Nwafo had been locked up by her auntie who is far away in the east for the Yuletide break for over a week.
It's wicked, it's satanic for anybody to lock up a child in a room that is not well ventilated, not taking into cognizance that there could be a fire outbreak, she could have a medical condition, there could be a problem, a disturbance, and she will be trapped. We intend to pursue this case to the end like we have done the rest. We intend to get her auntie and whoever is connected with this, and we intend to ensure that they are prosecuted.
One of the neighbors who spoke behind camera told me that Precious is not the first to witness such ill treatment by the said boss. The development drew the attention of other residents of the area.
When you hand over your children to parents or guardians, you should always be mindful.
Very bad. So this bad attitude does not give good encouragement to parents and people in the society.
Be calling on the dialing number for them to respond in time is a very great privilege for us here.
Once you perceive or see any atom of assault happening, you present it to the police. The CP had said it time and time again that if you have issues bordering, call me, call my DPO. Call the people next to where you are.
While the victim had been handed over to the Welfare Department of the Lagos State Ministry of Youth and Social Development, the Lagos State Police Command says the suspect, who has been declared wanted, will be charged to court.
The rights of the vulnerable, the women and children in society, we must guard it and guard it jealously.
Justice will be served and we shall keep you posted. Now, the Yuletide season, no doubt, is one that I'm sure you and I look forward to, especially because it affords us the opportunity to reunite with our loved ones. The season is also characterized by lots of eating and drinking. Some people, out of joy, gobble out of proportion. This is what Annie Daniels is concerned about in this report, the gluttonous habit of people during festivals and its implications.
Imagine sitting before a table decorated with various mouth-watering delicacies, and everybody is permitted to eat to their full.
I go eat as I like. My bag of chop, make sure say I fire and well.
If you don't, we're going to do shakara.
That was the case at various parties organized to celebrate the Yuletide.
We had rice, eddy cancan, vegetable, and pounded yam and fish. That more we are about the normal buffet now. You are in Nigeria, you know what we eat now.
You can eat goat meat with eba or semo. It does no harm to the body system. Olufunilayo Olateju is a dietitian. She says moderation should be the key.
You go to party, maybe buffet party, you want to make sure you taste all the menu available. It shouldn't be. People should eat right. Eating right, all the food must contain the 6 classes of nutrients. I mean carbohydrates, protein, vitamin, mineral elements, fat and oil, and water.
Olufumilayo Olateju further explained that not eating right has several implications like vomiting and diarrhea.
You become too heavy. You won't be able to move around the way you want. You get tired easily. You get bored.
She prefers detoxification as the best possible way to remain healthy after wrong consumption of food.
Adequate fluid, water, early morning. At least by the time you take one water in the morning, you visit, you move there'll be bowel movements. Not beer, not soft drink, water.
How many glasses in a day?
Well, 6 to 8 glasses in a day.
How many Nigerians are aware of this?
Those little tablets, purgative, you purge yourself of whatever you have before in your stomach, in your bowel. You empty your bowel.
I know most about the herbal way, like you do the normal Ogu stuff or bitter leaf, you know, the water, when you squeeze it, you have to drill the water out from it.
And one last advice from the dietitian.
Eat to stay healthy. You want to eat to be fit. You want to eat to be agile. So it now depends on individual to choose right, eat right, and exercise regularly. It's very, very important so that you'll be able to burn the calorie.
Yes, no matter how tempting it is, moderation is the watchword. Now, in recent times, the fear of criminal elements under the aegis of Bado is perhaps the beginning of wisdom in Ikorodu and Ekpe axis of Lagos State. Though India reveals how this cult group was demystified by security operatives. We are however warned that the visuals contain some flash images where discretion is advised.
The first reported serial killing by the Bado cult group occurred in Ikorodu sometime in April 2017. Sooner than later, it gradually turned into an epicenter of brutal killings suspected to be for ritual purposes. The group, which often carried out its Operation Midnight using rocks on their victims' head, became more fearful later in the year.
Somebody is trying to use a white handkerchief to clean blood. You should know that it is a kind of ritual.
The notorious activities of the Bado cult group in Ikorodu and Ekpe raised serious security concerns with the traditional rulers, local vigilantes, and the religious institution harmonizing with the State Commissioner of Police to fight the crime.
These shrines are locations where people kidnapped, people who are also tricked are brought. In the process, they are defrauded. If they are not lucky, they are killed. And in some instances, their parts are sold.
Prominent among operations of the Bado cult group is that of the family of three at Temu village, Ekpe area of the state, and another family of three in Abule Oshoru in Ibeshe area of Ikorodu, as well as that of the clergy who was murdered in Ofin town, also in Ikorodu area of the state.
The basic and the fundamental security measure is to just be your neighbor watch.
So far, the Lagos State Police Command, in collaboration with the Lagos State Security Watch, have made remarkable progress in clipping the wings of the Bado group, especially with the arrest of the top members of the group and their sponsors.
Their kingpin, the head of the group, has been arrested. He cleared and we arrested him on water as he was making his escape.
Lagos State is in support of the Commissioner of Police as well as other security agencies that are saddled with the responsibility of ensuring proper monitoring and securing of the environment.
With the recent arrest of the individual that was involved in administering oaths to those who get involved in that ritual, I'm sure it will bring it down. But that may not mean that Badu has come to an end.
Cracking that one, we intend to keep you abreast of further developments on the case. Now, this is a debate that is unending. Call it a war of the sexes and you won't be wrong. If you ask women, they will tell you that men can lie. Ask the men and they will shout to the high heavens that women can lie. This got Muhammad Abdul Kadir in Lagos thinking. If both sexes are at each other's throats over the matter, who then is a greater liar, men or women? He went to town with a question. I'm eager as you to find out what the people have to say.
Who is more prone to lying, male or female?
Men. They can lie for Africa.
Let me just say for the world, not for Africa alone.
No, women are liars. All of them.
Respondents speak on personal experience.
Like this girl, she had a boyfriend. So I know the guy. She now lied to me that she broke up with the guy. I'm telling you, so that I'll be spending money on.
Females are the most liars because they tend to want to be what they are not.
The men. Because they lie about everything. They lie about love.
Others say, irrespective of sex, male and female have equal chances of lying depending on the standpoint of an individual as well as their personality and integrity.
In general, human beings lie.
For me, it actually don't depend on your gender, it depends on your personality.
A sociologist explains.
One cannot say ordinarily that men lie more than women. I think it has to do with the situation and the condition that one finds himself.
What then are the predisposing factors to lying?
Some lies, right, are just there to just save your face. Some lies are just there because you want to carry on with people. Some lies are because you want to be able to maybe attend, right, to situations in the family.
What is the moral and religious perspectives to lying, irrespective of gender bias?
Islam frowns upon lying in all regards. Lie is something that is seen to be so minute, but it's something that can turn the whole universe upside down.
Liars will have no part in God's kingdom. God expects us to be truthful in everything that we do. Those who tell lies, the Bible says, are the children of the devil.
The truth of the matter is that there is no shield or trophy at stake for lying competition between male and female, as we do in competitive sporting or quiz events, because the society abhors lying.
I am on the fence on this one. Men lie. As far as I'm concerned, people lie irrespective of gender. Time for our very first break on the first edition of Newsline for the year 2018. When we return, celebration galore.
Join us. Mom says we have more than enough.
Wherever you may travel, whoever you will be with, we wish you a supreme Christmas. Be supreme, Nigeria.
I started using Mamador. It's healthier and tastier for them. So I know that no matter what I serve to family and friends, it not only tastes delicious, but keeps them healthy as well.
Adama is right. Mamador is cholesterol-free, full of omega oils and approved by the Nigerian Heart Foundation.
Looks like you're looking after my stomach.
It's your heart I'm looking after.
Mamador, your heart will thank you.
Welcome back. Dedication and commitment to service never go unnoticed. However, when one's good works get noticed from a distance, it's indeed honorable. That's what's exactly the case when the Special Advisor to President Muhammadu Buhari on Media and Publicity, Femi Adesina, got honored by a community in faraway Enugu State for his passion for the country and commitment with which he serves the president. He was conferred with the title Wane Dinamba, meaning brother in another land. Susan Eze tells us more.
Mr. Adesina received double titles at the event, one for himself, the other for President Muhammadu Buhari, who got the title of Isimiri, that is, the source of the water. The titles were from Igwe Omeluenyi I of Agunese Mako Ogu in Enugu State, Igwe Cyprian Nevobase. Dressed in the traditional Isiago attire with all the paraphernalia of chieftaincy, Chief Adesina looked every inch an Igbo chief, making his title Nwanne Dinamba, translated brother in another land, most befitting. His wife also received the title Lolo Nwanne Dinamba, meaning Queen of Nwanne Dinamba. For Chief Femi Adesina, receiving a chieftaincy title from a clan in the southeast, himself being a Yoruba man, signifies national peace and cohesion. Such cultural exchange, he said, is good for Nigeria's unity.
Very delighted for two main reasons. One, the honor was unsolicited, completely unsolicited. Two, it came outside my own ethnic stock. So it shows me that Nigeria will remain one, no matter what. This country will remain one.
Igwe Ogilishibu Nevobase, marking his first Grand Ofala and 14 years on the throne, said the recognition of Chief Adesina and others from different parts of the country is to further bond the different ethnic groups in Nigeria.
The government is doing very well, so I'm only praying for them as a traditional ruler. I pray for them to continue doing what they are doing.
In the same spirit of cultural exchange, Chief Adesina, in the company of Oba Rufus Ogunwale, the Oba Alaba Aba Kingdom in Osun State, had visited Igwe Obiora Igweshi of Obofia Okonano Enugu, who commended the presidential media advisor, Chief Adesina, for his competence on the job and prayed for the success of Muhammadu Buhari's administration.
We have gone too far to enlighten the public on the programs of the government. And these programs are rare and uncommon with this country, Nigeria.
The gift of a Bible by Igwe Igweshi to his special guest sealed the visit.
Honor well deserved, you would agree. Congrats, Femi Adesina. Now, the mother tongue of a people is said to be their identity, hence it should not be allowed to go into extinction. It is in this direction that indigenous people of Igbere in Bende local government of Abia State returned home to display their rich cultural heritage, marking the first edition of Igbere Cultural Carnival. Good News Chima Aga, who was the eye of NewsLine at the event, reports that it was an initiative of Oji Uzo Kalu.
The cultural carnival, with the theme celebrating our heritage, kick-started with a procession by different cultural groups from various communities in Igbere, as well as neighboring villages and states, after exchanging pleasantry by former Abia Governor Oji Uzo Kalu to the communities.
The cultural heritage of our people should not be allowed to die.
Oji Uzo Kalu said the event is to appreciate, preserve and pass on to generations the rich heritage of Igbere, as well as fulfilling the mandate of President Buhari on diversification, not only on agriculture, but also on tourism, as well as to empower his people by attracting investors to Igbere.
These are the things we will expect, but in next year, people will be able to go from just seeing the carnival or dancing and the troops to see some sites in Igbere, like a K, like all kinds of all the slave trade routes will be traced back to them, so people can go and see it.
Other dignitaries, including the Minister of Information and Culture, represented by the General Manager NTA Benny Modi, said that culture, not only people's way of life that should be transmitted from generation to another, but serves as a unifying factor for peaceful coexistence and development of the people.
Without culture, there's no identity. So it's about time we start telling our own stories. We're very rich in this country, particularly in culture. So we have to harness what we have.
We're trying to bring together groups of different traditions, different cultural dances.
People will be more united, people will get to know each other, and of course there are economic benefits.
Highlight of the event was various displayed by different groups. Cultural carnival, which attracted top government functionaries, Royal Fathers, which has come to be celebrated annually, is a way of enhancing the tourism potentials of Igbere climb.
Lively festival by Igbere people. Surely you enjoyed it while it lasted. As a first institution designed by Almighty God to populate the earth, marriage is an important point in a man's life as a new page of responsibility is opened. This is what happened to Saliu Mohammed, brother to the Director General of NTA, Malam Yakubu Ibn Mohammed. Abbas Mekano reports that the wedding fatia was held in Gombe.
Well, to Gombe, the parents of Salau did not waste time but went to meet Hawa's family to discuss the marriage rights. Director General of NTA, Malam Yakubu Ibn Muhammad, said marriage is one of the important things in the life of a man, advising the new couple to respect the sanctity of marriage and treat each other with love.
We are very grateful to God that the last male child of the family has today become a full man by getting married. The glory goes to the Almighty Allah. The most important advice you give to newly married is for them to be patient and tolerant of each other, and then to be prayerful to the Almighty Allah, because it is the sunnah of the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So they should continually pray to God, be patient and tolerant of each other.
Dignitaries at the wedding, including representative of the Emir of Zazzau, Mukhtar Ibrahim, and that of Ezunufi, who was represented by Muhammad Kudu Abubakar, gave elderly advice to the couple.
Abin da zan ce mishi ya haƙuri da duk abin da zai gani, idan da yana rayuwa shi kaɗai yanzu ya samu abokin rayuwa kuma zai ga rayuwa ta canza mishi.
He should communicate with his wife and he should be free with her siblings, with her relations.
It was another event for NTA family to rally around one another in support of good things that happen, especially to the DJ's family.
As a matter of fact, whenever such a thing happens, what advice I give the couple is the fact that their marriage cannot be the best, neither can it be the worst. Therefore, they should try to make it work. I'm happy really to have seen her going to a marital home, and I wish her the very best of the marital life. My friend and brother since childhood, and by the grace of God, I am an inspiration to his wedding. I pray they stay happily together.
Salau and Hawa believe they belong together from the day they found one another.
She is just unique and talented, cool-headed woman.
He's one of the most gentle people I've ever met in my life. He doesn't talk much. He's a quiet kind of a person.
One other important activity that form part of wedding celebration, especially in the northern Nigeria, is unveiling of the bride, which is usually being performed at the groom's house in the presence of all his relatives, friends and well-wishers.
All the best to the lucky groom and beautiful bride. We congratulate you and your families. It was with delight when family and friends gathered to witness the wedding of Everest Oranika and Claire Okoye in Abuja. The two who became one were full of joy. Musa Abubakar tells us more.
Like a fairy tale, the dream of Everest and Claire has finally come true. Before a congregation of witnesses, they pledged to love each other as they begin a journey in holy matrimony. Finally, the deed is signed and sealed. The reception was preceded by breaking of the kola nut, which signifies mutual respect and accommodation in Igbo culture. Along with felicitation came advice.
every morning and every night to give thanks to the Lord, and they should love one another and be good to everybody.
It's a memorable day. Give out my daughter's hand in marriage today.
I pray that the Almighty Father, the Holy Spirit shall dwell mightily with them. I pray that they will be patient with one another, because the greatest virtue of marriage is
not allow outside intrusion, whether it is by internal family or external or friends or whatever.
It was a beautiful wedding. We wish them a great life together. NewsLine was also in Lapai local government area of Niger State, where a successful businessman from the Emirate, Abubakar Ibrahim Diko, gave the hand of his first daughter out in marriage to Abubakar Sadiq Usman. Olagunju Oriyomi reports.
The ancient town of Lapai, headquarters of Lapai local government area of Niger State, was in a festive mood when guests from all walks of life converged on the central mosque of the town to witness the wedding fatia of Fatima Zahra Ibrahim and Abubakar Sadiq Usman. The marital journey of the two lovebirds began when the deputy chief imam of Lapai, Malam Hassan Baba, announced the sum of 25,000 naira as dowry. The deputy chief imam pronounced Fatima and Sadiq husband and wife and prayed Allah to give them a blissful home that will serve as a good reference to others. Venue of the reception, beautifully decorated with aesthetic materials and colors symbolizing the love between the couple, played host to guests accompanied by melodious music by the band of 31 Artillery Brigade, Nigerian Army Mina. Chairman of the occasion, Alhaji Mohammed Pepsi, and 7 senators from Niger, Nasarawa, and Kano states, among other political office holders, supervised the cutting of the 6 steps wedding cake. Fatima Zahra Ibrahim and Abubakar Sadiq Usman performed their first duty as husband and wife.
She's very special to me, and she has always tried to do exactly what I want her to do in life.
For the 2 youngest family here, my daughter and my son, I wish them a happy marriage life, a very successful one.
We hope they will live by the tenets of our law, our Islamic law.
I wish her a blessed home. I wish her to be happy always.
The couple, whose joy knew no bound, revealed what endeared them to each other.
He's calm, he's gentle, he listens. I've known him for the past 27 years.
Well, we've been dating for close to 3-4 years, but I've known her longer than that actually. We'll be family. It was never the arrangement of the family.
A nuptial traditional ceremony was earlier held at the bride's residence in Lapai to launch Fatima Zahra Ibrahim to the marriage world.
Congratulations to the new couple. Happy married life. Glad you're still on the line. Life begins at 180-64. We'll be right back.
You look awesome.
Thank you. Tell me, what have you been up to?
My dear, I walked down the road.
Ah.
Yeah.
Tell me about you now. See, I'm doing so well.
Seriously? Tell me, just now.
Okay, I'll tell you. Okay.
Excuse me, what was that now?
You did it so much money. So much what?
Why did it become... Oh my God, I don't even want to mention it. tell you shouting? Why won't I shout? It's nothing bad. Did you say it's nothing bad? Mr. Luka just found out that his son James was drowned at sea. And Mama Osaro too. Oh God, that poor woman. She was told that her daughter Nene was found on the streets of Italy, engaged in prostitution. Baba Sikiru just learned that. No, don't tell me that. I'm really disappointed. It's not what you think at all. Not you have to go, but I have to go. No, come back. Even Zainab, come, let me tell you. No.
Don't be deceived. You could be the next victim of human trafficking or slavery. Don't fall for it.
This is a public service announcement brought to you by NTA.
If you need help to give Mom a helping hand, please raise your hand. And if you're not quite satisfied after playing hard and need more energy, please raise your hand. And if you still need more to keep going, let's see those hands sky high to receive Fresh Yo, the nourishing, thick and delicious yogurt drink that fills you up for what's ahead. Natural goodness of yogurt. Fresh Yo. Fill up and keep going.
The National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, is working to ensure access to safe, good quality essential medicines with the World Health Organization pre-qualification of made in Nigeria pharmaceutical products, stiffer penalties for fake drug offenders with a review of NAFDAC laws, national, regional, and international collaborations, cutting-edge technologies, including the mobile authentication service.
For the last 24 years, NAFDAC has made steady progress in ensuring that the health of the nation is protected. Our collective responsibility is eliminating substandard, falsified, and unsafe drugs, medical devices, foods, and water.
I urge all Nigerians to support NAFDAC in safeguarding our health. God bless Nigeria.
Let us support NAFDAC to win the war against fake drugs and other unwholesome regulated products. NAFDAC, safeguarding the health of the nation.
Thank you so much for inspiring greatness in me, Alhaji.
Alhaji?
I am just rehearsing there.
Rehearsing for what?
A life-changing and inspiring meeting.
With who?
Alhaji Aliko Dangote.
With the FGNI app and just 500 Naira, you stand a chance to meet one-on-one with Alhaji Aliko Dangote, Africa's richest man, and win cash prizes. As the Be Inspired meetings give Nigerians a chance to meet one-on-one with icons. To qualify for the draw, download FGNI app from Apple Store or Google Play Store. Go to the Be Inspired section and follow the instructions. Cost of travel and accommodation of all winners within Nigeria will be borne by the organizers. Terms and conditions apply.
Proudly supported by the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
The time has come for Nigeria to take her rightful place in world sports with the first national grassroots sports festival to discover and prepare sport talents and develop future world champions for Nigeria. The festival date is 3rd to 10th March 2018. Venue is the National Stadium, Abuja, packages A and B. This is the opportunity for you to promote your brand through the festival. For broadcast sponsorship, which include live broadcasts, highlight shows, and TV fans show, contact the Chairman, Chief Coordinator, Angelo Peter I. Elosia, or Nick Onyushi. Organizers, Grassroots International Sports Academy and LOP Worldwide Television, endorsed by the Federal Ministry of Youth and Sports Development. Broadcast partner, NTA.
It's that time of the year when we appreciate all those that mean so much to us. Our sponsors, our clients, government at all levels, corporate bodies, advertisers, religious bodies, civil society groups, political parties, businesses, and above all, you, our esteemed viewers. Together, we made 2017 great. Together, we shall make 2018 even greater. That's why we say thank you. Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year.
Thanks for staying on the line. Now ask a person his birthday wish, and I'm sure his reply would be long life and prosperity. That was indeed the prayer of Chief Mrs. Eunice Ubeviri, mother of one of NTA's former staff who recently clocked 100 years, and the Daniels, whose wish is also to live even longer than 100 years in good health and prosperity, witnessed a celebration for Newsline.
As Becky, you are right. Attaining the enviable age of 100 in good health sure calls for celebration, especially for a woman like Chief Mrs. Eunice Ubeviri, whose love for not just her biological children, but as many children as she came in contact with, endeared her the name Mama Surulere.
She suffered. She stood by us when things are tough. You know, she's a mother. When I want to come back to this life, I still want to come through her. Because Abuja, so she's next to my father. She's my auntie. But we call her Mama Surulere because she's our mother.
What are the things that you would like to take from your mother?
My mother, she shorted us. She takes this easy.
Little wonder her children and grandchildren went all out to celebrate her on this day. The birthday celebration commenced with a church service where a camera lens caught Mama thanking God over and over again for bringing her thus far. Afterwards, all roads led to the reception ground where guests were treated to an assortment of foods and drinks. Mama's children spared no cost to honor their mother on her special day. Mama cut her cake, flanked by her children and relatives, and wait a minute, who says at age 100 you cannot enjoy your cake. Mama did just that, and check out her dance steps on her seat.
100 hearty cheers to the celebrants, and I'm sure like me, you all tapped into that brand of longevity. It's all good. The name Newton Jibuno is synonymous with adventure across the Sahara Desert, but this time around is taking us on an excursion into the literary world as he authors a book, Hunger for Power, to commemorate his 80th birthday on Mother Earth. Rotimi Oluwagbemi compiles the octogenarian's moment of glory for Newsline.
Hunger for power.
That was the official unveiling of the book to the admiration of dignitaries as well as friends who came from various parts of the country to celebrate Dr. Newton Jibuno, described as a protector of environment.
It's a universal book. It tells a very honest, fluent story. And it says that if you really are determined to succeed, nothing can stop you. And it's a fantastic book. I think you should read it.
In Nigeria, we grew up in before the Second World War. It's not the one we are seeing now. Everybody is so self-conscious and so contemptuous and power crazy and money crazy.
The presence of traditional rulers, government functionaries, and members of Pa Jibuno's families added color to the ceremony. The book, Hunger for Power, according to the book reviewer, is a multifaceted portrait and a must-read for everyone who wants to escape his past and forge a future. Words cannot be enough to describe the man, Newton Jibuno.
Forthright, single-minded, highly intellectual and courageous man.
He's been known to drive across the Sahara Desert is involved in environment, control of desertification, and several other topics I can't mention now. But he has done very well on the whole, and we're very proud of him.
Dr. Jibono is a man of iconic status in Nigeria. Very special. Somebody who was totally dedicated his life to the cause of the environment.
That Newton at 80, he makes 80 look like the new 70. Or is it even 60? He's a lovely man. He's a man who's faithful to friendship.
What was the motive behind the book, and how does the celebrant feel attaining the age of 80?
I have been very hungry for doing things that will bring about changes, that would bring back our grazing fields, that would bring back our land from dust to vegetation.
I'm sure that publication is a page turner. Kudos to Dr. Jibono on his many achievements. One Taka local government area of Benue State stood still as a creme de la creme of society converged on the area to mark the 64th birthday of the senator representing Benue Northwest Senatorial District, George Akume. Godwin Inalegu covered the event for Newsline.
It all began from St. Christopher's Parish, Wanune, where prayers were held to appreciate God for the life of the celebrant, Senator George Akume.
Being a political leader of the non-electoral politics, wonderful achievement, wonderful heights, from 1999 to 2017. Great achievement, very wonderful Lord. We thank God for your life.
Senator George Akume has appreciated everyone for attending his birthday and urged them to look up to God to receive his blessings.
I am happy that my friends, my brothers, my colleagues, including the governor, have joined me to celebrate God for this wonderful opportunity to serve him and humanity.
God has used him to impact so much on Benue people. He has added value on the development of the people of Benue State.
George is a man that is loved by all, and above all, he's my loving, sweet husband that I love with all my heart.
Chairman of the occasion, Simon Aondona, urged everyone to pray for the life of Senator George Akume. The celebrant, governor, national and state assembly members and other politicians joined Senator George Akume in a unity dance. Other associates of the celebrant prayed God to continue to guide and protect him.
As a man who has demonstrated all sense of selflessness.
He's also an embodiment of humility.
At 64, we believe that he's just beginning.
So we thank God for his mercy upon his life.
Many happy returns to the man of the moment. He is wishing you all the best. We still have more for you on Newsline. Don't go away.
Nigerians. Suicide bombers are not spirits. They are not ghosts. They are human beings like you and me. They live amongst us. They are your neighbors. They are your friends today, but terrorists tomorrow. So you must know your neighbor now. Security begins with you and me. Know your neighbor. Be vigilant. Be security conscious. Report suspicious persons, objects and movements to the police and other security agencies. The security of our nation is a duty for you and me.
If you see something, say something. Nigeria, unite against terrorism. This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
Welcome back. I am yet to come across a Nigerian without an expectation for the new year. Concerned as I was, Annie Daniels sampled the opinions of some Lagos residents on their expectations from the federal government for 2018. Annie, let's hear you.
Education should take top priority in this country because when you educate the youths are leaders of tomorrow. So certainly they will come up to become better leaders if they are educated properly.
That was the respondents voicing out his 2018 expectations from the government. Listen to others.
I want to make it take care of people who are there for hospital, people who are there for prison yard.
May they help us do, may they just do what they supposed to do. May we just survive. As God don't keep us alive, reach this day.
These respondents say that 2017 was a very challenging year for Nigerians, one characterized by economic recession, loss of jobs and cash strap. They were, however, quick to applaud the present administration's success in fighting insecurity in the northeast, curbing activities of militants in the Niger Delta region, and exiting recession. They are optimistic that with government at all levels working together in 2018, expectations of Nigerians will be met.
I'm looking forward unto them for good road. We want job. Not leave a constant light for us for a year and see what Nigeria we come up to. I heard that they want to restructure the Nigeria police force, and it's a good idea too.
Good jobs for especially those that have left school. The economy of Nigeria should be better.
And for these young men from the northeast, they expect complete restoration of peace in that region and Nigeria as a whole.
My parents are staying over there, so I miss them. I miss my parents, my mom, my dad, my younger brothers. They are there, you understand. They are in Chibok local government, so we need road, we need water, proper education.
IDP camp, they need proper care. They need proper care like hospitality, food and everything. They need that from the government too, because a lot of things are not reaching them. People are just lying about them, saying that they have been producing this and that, this and that. No, it's not like that. They need to be sure that everything has gone to them.
And this respondent, actualizing the Nigeria of our dream, requires a collective approach.
If you have been sleeping for 2017, it's time for you to get up to your feet. It's time for you to head up to where you have never been. It's time for you to aim at the stars that you have never looked at. Change is that constant thing, so you just have to stand up and rise up. Focus for this 2018. This is your time. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your potential. You have something to do, one or two things that your profession inside. Just keep on. These are your dreams. 2018 is our days.
You can say that again, brother.
Great expectations all the way. While we expect only good, let's give some good back. It's a two-way street. In the states of the Northeast, displaced communities are returning home in numbers. In many situations, they return to find nothing. Survival was such a tough call. However, federal intervention is making a difference in a number of these communities. Hamis Urogo was in Ngaza in northern Borno and reports that of the simple intervention in saving millions of lives.
It is a community of returnees. It is some 80 kilometers from Maiduguri in northern Borno. When the town was attacked, not a single household stayed. With the return of peace, they are back now. Do not fancy to hear their story, that they came back thirsty. They came back to find no water. For months after they returned, they remained challenged by it. Based on it, the federal government, under its quick intervention to people affected by insurgency in the northeast, built a solar-powered borehole for the people of Nganze. It was executed under Fadama 3 AF2. The intervention turned out to be a turning point for hundreds of villages proximate to Nganze as well as Nganze itself. Coming to this place is like a war front, a war between human beings and animals, just in a struggle to get to water. A borehole has never proven to be more effective than it is. Every day, hundreds of villages and their livestock come to find their water needs here. For over 3 hours, I observe families and their livestock arrive at the water point as others leave. When the animals drink, a kind of order is followed. Cows drink first, then sheep and goats, then donkeys, then horses. Coming here, one will not fail to appreciate how much blessed these communities are with livestock. The pictorials actually amaze me. I had a picture of young girls with their donkeys and jerry cans waiting patiently for their turn. At such point, I remember some such-like stories in the scriptures. There are sections for human beings too. The land here of containers is endless, but there is not a single despairing soul. Everyone is confident of having his fill and in good time. Many of the community leaders in Nganze say when they first came back, getting water was a 24-hour endeavor. You cannot fast from their relief now.
I'm surprised with what I see, because at the beginning we didn't expect that such a number of people are going to benefit from this project. But now what we are seeing, honestly speaking, is very surprising.
What is the real plan for it?
We are planning for at least 5,000 or less than 5,000 people to benefit from this project. Okay. But now we are seeing about more than 10,000 are coming to benefit from this project. So we are really happy. We are very grateful, even though it will put more pressure on the infrastructure.
On the sideline of the fight for water in Nganze, this man was enjoying his commercial laundry. He loved the use of his legs to insurgency, but he did not lose his spirit to survive. Generally, taking a wide view of the environment, one cannot fail to marvel at the magnificence of the life unfolding. Splendid, if you ask me. Yet the people of Nganze had another wish. How beautiful could it be if they had more water points?
Indeed, things are getting back to normal. Thanks for sharing, Hamisu. We'll take a quick break. NewsLine continues shortly. Don't go away.
Hear the call of change. Stand up, Nigeria. Change is here and it's going to stay. Change begins with you. Oh yeah, make we go. Go to so let the change begin from within. Look at you, oh Gerula. Change begins with you and me. Change begins with me. Change begins with me. Change begins with me.
Nigerians, our fearless officers and men of the Nigerian military are winning the war against Boko Haram. Today, all occupied territories have been recovered and Boko Haram has been degraded. Our affected brothers and sisters are getting their lives back. However, they are now after you and me. In our mosques, churches, schools, motor parks, markets, entertainment centers, and public gatherings. Be vigilant. Be security conscious. Report suspicious persons, objects, and movements to the police and other security agencies. The security of our nation is a duty for you and me. Nigeria, unite against terrorism.
This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
The New Year celebration for them would have been merrier if there had been conscious efforts to forestall needless loss of lives by providing a pedestrian bridge in their community. This is a story on the plight of residents in Fadeyi community who are compelled to dash across the ever-busy Ikorodu Road all year round. Musa Toliat, who has been monitoring the situation in the community, says there is finally a glimmer of hope for residents. Let's find out from this report.
Over the years, Lagos State government has done well in the areas of protecting lives and property through various policies and initiatives. Apart from providing pedestrian bridges across the metropolis, enforcement on the use of the road infrastructure was also introduced. This informed the deployment of law enforcement agents to ensure compliance.
The government wants people to see that the bridges are there and they must be used. It's one of the problems, it's one of the bans of regular traffic in Lagos State. You can force people, you force them to obey the law.
The state government went further to check habitual deviant behavior among commuters who persistently break the law. Wired barricades were introduced on the highways.
So this thing is good. You be compared to climb the bridge. It's good. It's a good development.
If not because of the barbed wire, that there is no room of escape, people will still be crossing.
It's good. It's a positive mode in the right direction.
Efforts were also made by the state governments to reconstruct and remodel pedestrian bridges. As these initiatives continued to yield positive results, Fadeyi residents were grappling with dilapidated footbridge which had turned to a death trap.
I've been standing there about 30 minutes for me to cross because it's not easy. I cannot stand in between the motor unless they wait for me.
They're supposed to position LASMA or any other person there to control traffic.
Very, very risky. Not always hit people here. Just say at least not less than 2 to 3 times a week.
After several months of consistent NewsLine reports on the state of the footbridge and the plight of residents in the area, the Lagos State government came to the rescue. In September 2017, the pedestrian bridge at Fadeyi bus stop was removed. However, 4 months down the line, the situation at Fadeyi has continued to force residents to take the risk of running across the busy expressway.
The bridge was still here and it was faulty. LASMA will stop cars and students will pass, but now LASMA don't stop any car.
There's a time in the morning, very early in the morning, there's a bus that knock one woman and discharged down here.
If I'm coming to work, I'll be rushing for me to clock in because we normally clock in if we come to work. I have to stand there. Sometimes it will pass some minutes, and that's some minutes they will charge me for coming late. You understand? So it affects me.
Residents therefore want the Lagos State government to add Fadeyi to the list of communities that will benefit from the ongoing various developmental projects across the state.
Make another one available before demolishing it. That's what they should have done.
I don't know their plan actually, but I'll say they are taking too long so that life won't be lost again.
We hope the authorities watch that. Moving on, the history of Kaduna will not be written without the mention of the Hassan Usman Katsina House. This majestic edifice is tightly intertwined with the ancient history of the centenary city. For what you may not have heard about this edifice, hear now from Muhammad Umaru Ajingi.
Home to colonial masters prior to independence of Nigeria in 1960, a city with wonderful master plan, conducive weather, a cosmopolitan town accommodating people from all parts of the country. Apart from these features, the city was once the capital of northern region. This made it a place with infrastructures, which was built by the late premier of the region, late Sir Ahmadu Bello. This magnificent building along Agilu Road, known as State House, is one of such legacies significant in the annals of history.
And the whole 3 blocks was built by Delbato, 200,000 pounds then.
The house, named after General Hassan Usman Katsina, has a beautiful banquet hall, conference room, residence of traditional rulers, and offices for annual political meetings.
The place in a few days actually, because actually he was killed in January 1966, and he didn't live in the house, but at the same time he was really using it. But when the military came, the secretary of the government moved to the office there, where I think the secretary of the Kaduna State government is still occupying one of and the banqueting hall is being used for banquets and so on. And then, of course, the house is VIP, where the vice president stays there at the same time visiting heads of state.
It was a very beautiful building, good architectural design, that was built by the then A.G. Ferrero Company.
And during his time and after him, we saw that this place accommodated very, very important personalities. Very well, Haile Selassie, when he came here, during the First Dark and other occasions, stayed there. Royal family members stayed in these places. Many African heads of state stayed in that places because it was a fantastic building, a banquet hall that can accommodate over 200 people.
The house, adorned with beautiful landscaping and greens, is at present occupying the office of the Kaduna State Head of Service and the Secretary to the State Government. The custom put to some elder statesmen is what role the house played in shaping the political development of northern Nigeria.
It is the center where the governors, all the 19 governors meet. Remember, Sadona was ruling the whole of the 19 states. It's one region. And now there are 19 governors. So when they meet and they come to Kaduna, that is the right place they could go.
The accommodating office of the head of service and many departments there. And also the guest section are still functioning. Still accommodating ministers and other VIPs that visit Kaduna from time to time.
Being a house where important events like Northern Governors Forum, Northern Traditional Rulers Annual Meeting are held to deliberate on critical issues affecting the lives of the people. General Hassan Usman Kaduna House, according to stakeholders, has remained an important place that history cannot afford to forget in the political evolution of the North and by extension the entire country. In Kaduna, I am Muhammad Umar Ajingi, NTA News.
Thanks for that tour, Mohammed. It's on that note we end Newsline this week. It's been great again in your company. After I take a bow, Ali Baba, who is already standing by, will delight you at 10:30. From Newsline crew, good night and God bless Nigeria.